All right, welcome back, day 5 of the resurrection journey. Let's take a peek in our egg and see what we've got for today. Okay, we got a leather strip. Now this is meant to remind us of the lashes that Jesus received during his trial and condemnation by the Roman authorities. And so for today, you're going to want to read Mark chapter 15, verses 12 through 15. And after you do that, here are some things to be thinking through about what's happening here. So at this point, Jesus has been betrayed by Judas, right, to the Jewish authorities. But those Jewish authorities, those leaders, they have no actual power to kill him, which is what they want. They want him to be put to death. And so they go then to the Romans, because the Romans are the ones who have the power to accomplish their plan of putting him to death. And so the Roman governor at that time was Pontius Pilate, and he unfortunately was a coward. He wanted the Jewish leaders to like him. He wanted to keep them in his good graces. And so he agreed. Even though Jesus was innocent, he put him on trial and he was willing to condemn them. And he commanded his soldiers to scourge Jesus and then to later crucify him. And scourging was this awful process by which someone would have been beaten over and over and over again, almost and even sometimes to the point of death. And so as we think about that, as we reflect on that and the horrible treatment that Jesus received, you really have to ask, man, Jesus was the Son of God, the Lord of all. He could have stopped that at any moment in time, but he didn't. Why? Well, it's because of his love for God and his love for us that kept him walking obediently through that suffering, all the way to the point at the cross where he died for us. And so it's just an amazing testimony of the love of Christ for you and for me. He loved us so much that he was willing to die for us. And it wasn't an easy death. And so as you're thinking through this, as you're processing this, I would encourage you to also look at the Old Testament, Isaiah chapter 53. That chapter is just an absolutely amazing one. Evaluate, who is this talking about? And the answer is Jesus. And just be amazed at how 700 years before Jesus even walked the earth, God had already prophesied about how he would come as the Messiah who would be broken and would bleed for us for the forgiveness of our sins. A couple of questions that you could ask yourself is, why did Jesus have to endure this horrible treatment? And what did he accomplish by obeying his Father all the way through it to the very end? All right, thanks for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow on day 6 of our resurrection journey.